Hey, welcome back guys. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this neat little drone by JJRC. As you can see on the box here, it's called the Bellwether. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but anyway, that's his name. As you can see here, it says first aerial drone with 20-minute endurance or flight time. It does have a very impressive flight time, though 20 minutes probably pushing it. It does have a caveat here saying under optimal flight conditions. I flew it very gently and did a lot of hovering, and I got almost 18 minutes, so it's not off by much. And that's still a really impressive flight time for a toy. There's only maybe a handful, 5-6 toy drones of this class that have a flight time in that 20-minute window, and that's really good. That's probably the biggest selling point for this drone, is its really impressive flight time. Now, taking a look at the drone again, as you can see, it kind of looks like a Phantom 4. It's kind of going for that look. In fact, when it's in the sky, it actually kind of looks like a Phantom 4 from a distance. You have kind of hard time seeing, its full size when it's up in the sky. Now, of course, it's just brushed motors. It does have altitude hold, but there's no GPS or anything fancy like that. It has this little fake gimbal looking deal here with dampeners here, and it's a 720p camera. It's a Wi-Fi camera, as you can see here in the back. There's the antenna. It does okay in the video. It's not terrible. I've seen worse. There is some jello wobble. It's not great, and it just records over the Wi-Fi, so there's no SD card to record it locally onto the quadcopter. So you do have to use the app to record that. The battery that comes with it is a really large battery. That's what gives it that 18-minute flight time. It's an 1800 milliamp. It's just a 1S 3.7 volt 30C battery. So, nice size battery, and that's why you get so long flight time. And it uses a red JST connector, so you can charge this on a hobby grade charger real easy then. But using the stock charger, which is here in the bag, it's a USB stock charger with the red JST on it. It's gonna take about 2 hours to charge it, but you can do it under an hour with a good hobby grade charger. And like I said, you'll get around 18 minutes flight time, 17.5 to 18 minutes, with about a 20-second LVC. And this flies really nice. I was really impressed the way it flies. It does 360 flips really well. Though as you start to get the 9-10 minutes into the flight, it is going to get a lot sloppier at 3D flips as the battery starts to lose some of its punch. So it may come down, hit the ground. So I wouldn't advise doing 360 flips after the first 7-8 minutes of flight. After that, I would not try to do it. Sometimes it even tries to land itself. It just really takes a lot of punch out of the battery. But that's only halfway through the battery. Like I said, I was able to get nearly 18 minutes. So just don't try to do the 360 flips. The only other thing I could gripe about, this very minor, is it seems to be, at least for me, a very minor, very subtle amount of input lag with the controller, and I'm sure that's due to the Wi-Fi FPV causing a little cross interference, but it's very minute, very small. A few times I just kind of felt like it was just a little delayed from my input. But again, it's a toy, it's Wi-Fi FPV, so that's bound to happen. It does have an on and off switch here. It's on the bottom here, next to where you mount the camera. You do have to assemble this little mount and slide the camera on, but it's real easy. Let me go ahead and plug the battery in so I can show you guys the lights on it. It's got green lights here in the front, make sure, and blue here in the back. So, and they're fairly easy to see. They will blink when it gets to the low voltage. Like I said, there's not much warning, maybe around 20 seconds before it finally landed itself, but good long, like I said, really good long flight time. The accessories here, full set of propellers. I like to include all 4. Of course, I went over the charging cable, and it's got 2 full set of landing gear. Second drone in a row I've seen it had full extra landing legs, and I thought that's kind of odd. I'm glad they included it, but a little weird because you're not likely to break these landing gear on it, but it's nice that they think of that. And a full set of prop guards. So if you choose to use prop guards, I'm not a big fan of prop guards. It's a pretty standard JJRC controller. You got your full set of trims for your pitch, yaw, roll, all that. And as you can see, altitude hold. These dials don't work for turning them, but you press them in, they do. All nicely labeled. This is your auto takeoff and auto landing, which works really well. It's your headless mode. your 360 flips in the direction you want to flip, and your high, low, but it's actually 3 rates. So a low, medium, and high, or beginner, intermediate, and expert mode, depending on what you want to call it. And the yaw does increase, so it does not only get sportier, but the yaw does increase some, so you know, in proportion to the rates that you're in. And this is your clip to put your FPV on, so you clip your camera in here, another pretty standard thing. The app that you're going to use, I'll put it up here on the screen, is the JJRC app, which is pretty common from them. And I'm not going to go over it like all the other ones, you know. Just use this to record your video. I wouldn't probably try to fly to FPV. I don't do that too often with these toys myself. But if you choose to, it didn't seem like the lag was too bad on it, about what you expect from a toy quadcopter. So I think I covered everything. I do think that to do the gyro calibration is down to the right, I believe. I want to make sure I don't forget that. I could not find it anywhere in the instructions. So if you need to reset the gyro, it's down and to the right. All right, I think that covers everything. So let's move along now to the flight review. All right, guys, so I have the JJRC Bellwether out here. So I'm going to go ahead and take it up here. So I got my pool closed today, so thankfully I don't have to worry about anything crashing into the water. I've got it connected to the Wi-Fi FPV app, the JJRC app, so I'm going to start recording video to that. We're going to take it up and fly it around here and give you an idea how it flies. I really like how this flies. Give you a video sample from it. But you know, I'm not going to fly at 18 minutes. It might have a really long review if I do that. I could fast forward it, but you guys will get you get the idea once you see how it flies. And just take my word for it. It flies about 18 minutes. We've got a thunderstorm moving in here soon. It's more comfortable outside, but I need to hurry up and get this done before it starts to rain. So I'm going to go ahead and press the record button. And what I'm going to go ahead and do an auto takeoff. I think I'll try it here in a moment. I think down and out will unlock them. You can take it off manually. I'm going to go ahead and just press the takeoff button, and there it is. And trim it up a little bit here. Give it a little roll. Little right roll input, maybe give it a little bit of a forward pitch. And so I can just see a very slight amount of, like I said, delay input, but it's very minor. Give it a little bit more to the right. All right, I said really, look how stable that is. Really nice. As you can see in the video you're seeing now, you know, there's some jello wobble. It's not the greatest, but I've seen worse in toy drones. Now there's not a lot of wind today right at the moment, thankfully, unless the wind kicks up from the thunderstorm. So it's just really optimal conditions to fly this. Let's see if it can get me in the video here. I don't know if I can. There I am, folks. Got my let's see if I can bring it closer. Got my Metallica Master of Puppets shirt on today. Here comes a decent breeze, actually from right to left right now. All right, let's take it over here and I'll show you the yaw. And then let's go up. And not really easy to see it right there with that breeze catching it, but I'm gonna bring it a little closer. And then it goes even faster. It's getting blown away here by that wind. A little breeze kicking up. And take my word for it, it's, like I say, kick it down. There, see how it slowed down? It sped up, and it sped up a little bit more. So, pretty good yaw there on the highest rate. And one thing I didn't mention when I was at the table review is you can tilt the camera. Let me go ahead and do a landing here. I'm gonna go ahead and land it. Oh, I hit the, sorry about that, hit the, oh, it tipped over. No big deal on that. I mean, these toy props can handle a lot, so I'm not really worried that it didn't land particularly well. Let's pop the battery bay back on. Most of the time I land this, I've not had it tip over, but occasionally it does. So let's go ahead and try what I wanted to show you actually was the camera. I'm going to tilt the camera up just a little bit more here. Tilt it up. That way I can catch the horizon more whenever I'm pitching forward. That's something I should have done before I took off. Let's go ahead and try unlocking the props. So both sticks down and out, and you can just manually take off. You don't want to do an auto takeoff. So we got about 3 minutes here of video. So we've still got probably 15 minutes of flight time left on this little guy. It's a very long flyer. I've had a couple I reviewed, the Phantasm, I forget who made that. It had around similar, I think some of the Vizios. I had another little drone that actually ended up in my pool because it wasn't defective. It was advertised like 23 minutes, but I can't remember who made that. And like I said, I never got to review it because of that. But let's go ahead and do some 360 flips here before the battery starts to get, you know, around to halfway, so that's when it starts to not do them so well. See, you know, it's not too bad. I've seen worse, but it's not, you know, super tight. It gets a lot of clearance so it goes up to make sure it can do it. See? But it's able to, you know, keep itself in the air. It's not hitting the ground. Let's do one to the left. Now, if my pool was open now, I probably wouldn't be doing that, especially in a few more minutes, because it can sometimes come all the way to the ground as it tries to recover. I'm going to do a forward one. See, yeah. It's just okay at 360 flips. Sometimes better than others, but if you take it out here and you fly it around for 10 minutes and try doing the flips, it's gonna bottom out on the ground as it's starting to lose some of that punch, because that's that big battery, the camera, that's a lot of weight in this little quadcopter to do flips. And it's also pretty rough on the motors, so I'm not a big fan of 360 flips. I'll do 360 flips, I'll take my racer out in acro, or at least horizon mode, and do that. But if you're just a beginner, get yourself something smaller if you want to see those 360 flips, because you know there's a lot of weight on this and it's hard on these motors. So get yourself a little whoop or something to do, you know, that can handle a lot better. That's a lot more fun. I don't find it a whole lot of fun to do 360 flips on one of these little, on one of these drones of this size. I'm gonna take it up here and just try to get a little video from a little higher altitude. I'm kind of yawing a little faster than I should there. So it's getting, I want to fly it back overhead. Like I said, it looks cool, and to me it kind of looks like a Phantom 4 when you get it out a little ways. It's harder to see, you know, to really tell that it's about half the size of a Phantom 4, but it flies really nice. Now, with many of these altitude hold quadcopters, as you can see, I get the full stick down. You know, I'm trying to fly back. It's kind of slow to fly forward and back. See, it's not, and of course, let's see, I think I may have bumped the rates down. Yeah, I did. All right. And let's see, it seemed like it was kind of slow. Let's try that again. My apologies. The storm coming up is kind of distracting me a little bit. So I mean, it's got decent pitch, but it's like it's not super sporty. But the yaw's nice, and it's just a long flyer. Just get it up, get yourself some video or pictures, you know, for a relatively decent price. Now, on these altitude hold quadcopters, you know, they tend to not be real quick at ascending and descending, and it goes up pretty good, but it's a bit slow to go down. I got it full down here on the throttle. It's coming down fine, but let's take it a little higher. When I've had it out here and getting some overhead video, let's take it up there, and then let's kind of pan around. I'm gonna try to keep it in its position a little bit. Let's bring it down. I got the throttle all the way down. It's kind of slow to come down, which is not uncommon on these altitude hold, but this is particularly slow. I've had others that do this, but this one's a little slower. So, you know, just be mindful that if you have it up kind of high, it's going to take a little moment to come down. So if you're getting up high and there's a lot of wind, you know, that's going to make it a little more prone to blow away, because you can't bring it down really, really fast. And when, you know, I'm a little concerned with the storm coming in, if wind was all of a sudden pick up, you know. Right now it's very, very calm out here, but it's going to be a little slow to come down, more so than going up. So just be mindful of that. And I said a while ago, I was also mentioning the pitch, because I had it in the first rate. I had bumped that by accident when I was getting ready to do the auto takeoff and land. I hit the wrong button, so it threw me off for a moment. There's a lot to cover in these reviews, and it's easy to get yourself mixed up, and then you won't want to look like an idiot trying to tell people stuff and you mess something up real easy. There's just so much to cover, and you can't always have yourself a bunch of notes. You have to kind of get good at winging it, you know, sort of. I always test fly my drones first, but it's still easy to get tongue-tied and messed up and end up filming a whole review and it all gets ruined. So I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into this, and most people think they're quite understanding that you may say something wrong or get tongue-tied, and as long as you correct yourself, that's the most important thing. I appreciate you guys for being understanding of that, but I always try to be as thorough as I can, you know, but everybody's gonna mess up. But that's why I always like to fly my drones. I'm not saying that people who do maiden flights are doing it wrong. For me, I can't do it and get good answers to you guys and good information if I'm doing a maiden flight, because I'm catching too many things that I didn't know or didn't know what to expect, and it throws me off. Let's go ahead and land it here into auto land. Let's see if we can keep it from tipping this time. Oh no! I said it's not perfect at auto landing, but yesterday I probably say 2 out of 4 times I landed, it landed on its own. Now there is a breeze picking up here right now, so that's also going to affect it a bit. So let's go ahead and do another auto takeoff here. Actually, I can see now some of this is the wind, but and me rolling to the right. But I did notice in my test flight yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and try to land it again so I can show you guys. All right, see, now that one landed perfect. There is a wind picking up too. Sometimes it seemed like the gyro could get a little mixed up during a long flight like this, and that's where I did need to reset it. So let's go down and to the right. I think it'll beep. Down and to the right. Yeah, the controller's telling me. And then if I take back off, it seemed like that helped it. It was a little more stable. It leveled out what it thought was level. So if you see it getting a little, tilting a little bit, and it didn't really affect it too much, it might make it just drift a little bit, just land it and do that quick gyro calibration. I did it a couple of times yesterday. Some of that was just part of my testing to see if it made any difference, but I thought at least once it looked to me like it was getting a little bit crooked in the air. But like I said, overall I think it's a really nice flying drone. Long flight time, a really good drone for a beginner. You can certainly take that camera off if you don't want to mess with all that extra weight. So right now we're approaching 11 minutes since I started recording, so that's close to 11 minutes flight time. I would not want to do a 360 flip right now because it's going to be very sloppy and hit the ground. So I'm not going to do it just for the sake of because how bad it got. So again, just take my word on that. And that's just part of the battery just losing some of its punch. But we should get another 6 to 7 minutes of flight time out of this. Well, as I said when I first started out here, I was not going to fly it the whole time. Of course, it's easy to blab and go through it, but we don't make this review too long. One thing I wanted to show you real quick is in the highest rate, it actually does kind of funnels and stuff pretty good, which is not that common for a larger quadcopter. See? As we get going, that's not too bad. It's moving a little bit, but look at that. Lots of times you will see it, drones really drift and you just can't do it with a drone of this size. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with this drone. It's not perfect, but it's a long flight time. The camera's decent. Really, unless you absolutely have to have really good 360 flips, especially for the entire length of the flight, then I would recommend this drone. I don't really have any other problems with it. I like that it uses a regular LiPo. It's nothing proprietary, and it has a standard connector, so you don't have to worry about having some goofy charger. You can use a hobby grade, which will not only charge it quicker, but it'll also charge it a lot faster than the stock charger. And it comes with plenty of spare parts. JJRC's really been doing good the last couple of years, and they've really been putting out a lot better drones than they used to. I think that they may have kind of taken over what Sima used to do. I think they're maybe better than Sima, whatever you want to call them. Really been overall pretty impressed with this. And LEDs are easy to see, especially here with you're getting overcast. Seems the whole position, altitude pretty good. It's a little slow to come down. I'm just going to go ahead and just manually land it here. Throttle down. Let's see if we can land it here without it tipping over. Oh yeah, very nice landing. Just keep holding the throttle down and it'll cut the motors. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording the video. I think that's enough to let you guys see what this JJRC Bellwether can do. Overall, I do recommend this. I know that this is TomTop sent this to me and they have a coupon. So if you're interested, there's a purchase link in the description that has a coupon. I don't remember how much off it was, but that will drop the price. So be sure that you use that coupon if you choose to order it through the purchase link to TomTop. So, all right, so that wraps up this review. Be sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber, guys. And make sure you click that bell because it's so easy to forget to do that and then you don't know when someone's posted a new video. So I gotta make sure I do that on my subscriptions. And as always, guys, have a really good day.
The power of the dark side.